Humans are lucky that the most dominant marine mammal in the world, the one which can be the size and weight of an American school bus, has shown a high degree of intelligence and is nicknamed killer whale.
Has been teaching other whales to attack boats.
It's just the latest in a number of orca attacks in the area.
But maybe they should be renamed a gang or a troop or an army.
Raising questions about why
orcas are attacking
and even sometimes sinking boats.
It has never shown hostile behavior to humans in the wild until now. Since May 2020, there have been over 500 recorded incidents of orcas reacting to boats and even sinking multiple of them with humans aboard. But the big question is, why are they doing it, and why now? Is this the start of an orca versus human war? Before we answer those questions, we need to explain what they are actually doing to the boats and how this behavior is even possible. The attacks started in a place called the Straits of Gibraltar, a narrow passage connecting the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. This spot is crucial because it's one of the busiest waterways globally, with more than 300 ships passing through every day. That's roughly one ship every 5 minutes. Now, why are these attacks happening? It seems that orcas, also known as killer whales, have an issue with all the boat traffic. Instead of randomly ramming into boats, they're doing something clever. They target the rudder, the part that helps the boat steer, instantly making it impossible for the boat to navigate. It's like they figured out the most efficient way to make the boats useless. It's intriguing because, just like when they attack sharks, they focus on the most nutritious part, the liver. In this case, their goal seems to be to disable the boats effectively. In 3 instances, they've managed to seriously damage a boat to the point of sinking, and every time, there were many people on board. Luckily, everyone was rescued safely. Remarkably, there's no record of a person ever being killed by an orca in the wild. These attacks are not quick events either. The most recent incident involved a boat called Champagne, and it lasted a whopping 90 minutes. 2 orcas targeted the rudder, while another attacked the side of the boat. If you're thinking, can orcas really be big and strong enough to do this? I'll be referring to a previous video about orcas, so you might want to check it out after this one. To put it simply, orcas are massive. Male orcas can grow over 9 meters long and weigh more than 10 tons, which is about the size and weight of an American school bus. Females are a bit smaller. Their streamlined hydrodynamic shape, combined with their strength, gives them a powerful swimming ability. So powerful, in fact, they rank as the second fastest marine mammal in the world. The Atlanta Orca Working Group has been keeping tabs on 9 orcas leading the attacks. One of them, White Gladys, whose real name is Blanca, might have the key to all this mystery. But let's circle back to that later. They've given the nickname Gladys to all the orcas involved in these boat attacks. The big deal right now is that this behavior is spreading. Originally, it started in the Strait of Gibraltar, but now there are new reports of these boat attacks happening in the North Sea near Scotland. How are these orcas learning and spreading this behavior? Turns out, orcas are way smarter than you might imagine, and they're super good at picking up stuff. When they're born, their calls are different from the older orcas, but as they grow, they start to sound just like the rest of the gang. That's just one way they talk to each other. And let's talk about their hunting game. It's seriously impressive. Picture this, a sea lion chilling on a big chunk of ice. Now, there's only one way to get that sea lion off the ice and into the water. They work together as a team, swimming underneath or close to the surface to create a wave that cracks the ice. Once the ice is broken, more waves won't do much, so the leader gets the gang to gently nudge the ice toward clearer water. Orcas, also known as killer whales, are fascinating creatures with intricate social lives. They stick with their family groups, called pods, for their entire lives, occasionally mingling with other pods, mostly for making baby orcas. When the oldest female, the grandma of the pod, hits about 40 years old and stops having babies, she takes charge of the group. She spends her time passing on her wisdom and know-how to the younger ones, which is super important for the story we're telling in this video. Another cool thing about orcas is their brain power. They've got the second biggest brain among all animals, just after sperm whales. Imagine this. Their brains weigh around 5.4 to 6.8 kilograms, which is about 5 times heavier than a human brain. That hefty brain power helps them learn things, talk to each other in orca language, and come up with clever ways to hunt. This is key to understanding how they're picking up new behaviors and spreading them around. Okay, so here's the big question. Why are they doing it? Some folks think these orcas might be playing around, having some fun. But there's another idea floating around: revenge. There are 4 main theories, and the most popular one suggests that this new behavior is their way of getting back at something. Remember White Gladys, the orca we mentioned earlier? People think she might have had a rough time with a fishing line or a boat, making her pretty upset about them. And guess what? There are other orcas in the area who've been hurt in ways that match boat accidents or getting tangled up. As a result of the tough times, she started leading attacks on boats and taught her group to do the same. But here's the thing. When they rescue people from sinking boats, it seems they're not trying to harm us. Their issue seems to be with boats, not humans. Another idea is less dramatic. It says this whole thing might just be a trend. The orcas might be goofing around and could get bored eventually. They've had weird phases before, like wearing a dead salmon as a hat in 1987. Seriously, it happened to a group of southern resident orcas. The behavior caught on, lasted a few months, and then vanished. This theory gets support because most of the attacks involve young orcas. Researchers found out that teenagers take risks in lots of species, not just us humans. So maybe this is just their version of teenage fun. The third idea is a bit wild. Some folks seriously think it's the beginning of a rebellion by orcas against humans. They fear that as orcas learn, their attacks will get bigger and more aggressive. But that sounds a bit too much, right? Now, there's a fourth idea, more somber but important. Maybe the orcas are just fighting for survival. The Iberian orca group is in big trouble, with only 39 of them counted in 2011. Their main food, the Atlantic bluefin tuna, moves from the Mediterranean Sea after mating in July. Perhaps the orcas see any boat as a threat to their food, so their best shot at surviving might be to stop boats from taking away their food source from the ocean. The reason behind the orcas' new behavior remains unknown, sparking worries about how humans might react if it gets worse. While no one has been killed by a wild orca, there have been deaths in captivity. Orcas are strong, emotional, and smart creatures, much like us. They'll do whatever it takes to survive. We usually feel at ease around them in their habitat, yet their dwindling food sources threaten their existence. So it's crucial to be cautious. Ultimately, orcas are the ocean's rulers, and their actions impact its balance. Understanding their behavior and respecting their environment becomes increasingly important as we navigate these changes together. If you're intrigued by such topics, consider subscribing to our channel for more insights on wildlife and nature's wonders.